playgrounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
Old School with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the fifth graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Tick Weeknights. Harrison Arens on the ones and twos. As always, we got Rudy joining me today to keep things local here. Again, just quick disclaimer, we're still working on that Kansas City Royals signal for you guys. Just to mention, not intentional, still working with that storm and the amount of damage it's caused. But on the bright side, it does seem like we're getting closer to a solution. And I don't want to give any specific dates, but I will say it does feel like sooner than later. With that being said, though, your quick update for them. They're currently up 1-0 over the Texas Rangers. Again, your Kansas City Royals now 2 games above 500, 63 and 61. The Texas Rangers just one under 500 at 62 and 63. So end of the first inning just now. Like I said, your Kansas City Royals leading the Texas Rangers 1-0 at the end of the first inning. With that being said, Rudy, how's it going on a Monday night?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, second to last Monday of the summer for me, so I'm trying to slow it down. It's not seeming to work, but we're getting closer to school starting. So I mean, I'm appreciating every day, no matter what it is so far. But we'll see what happens when school gets here.
Yeah, and then pretty soon you'll get those texts from me like, "Hey, you mind coming in?" You're gonna be like, "No, dude, I got 5 exams I got to worry about this week. Last thing I need to do is an impromptu hour." But nonetheless, we appreciate you here. Nonetheless, when does school start for you? What's the official day?
Yeah, so it'll be great question. I'm assuming, actually, it might be next Monday. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think this is So we start school next Monday, which is a week from today, which should be the 25th, I believe.
Well, I'm glad we could clarify that for you tonight.
Yeah,
now
I'm
you know
glad
you
I
got
found
7
that out
days.
right now. So, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It can't be that bad. It's the last year, so.
Yeah, that is true. What is did you pull the have a lot of classes early on, and now it's going to be kind of coasting? Well, no, I shouldn't say coasting, but you're loaded up with credits, or is it pretty easy this year?
Yeah, so I mean, I was gonna be loaded up with credits, but then I ended up getting that 5th year. So now it's just smooth sailing, 12 credits minimum. That's exactly what I'm at. So I'm cool right now. I mean, classes are probably still gonna be hard. They're all the senior level courses now, but at least I don't got to worry about having to take like 6 of them at once. So could be worse, but I'm pretty spread out right now. So.
Hell yeah! And then, how is your family like in regards of diplomas? I know we got to hear. We'll probably hear it later tonight. Elijah Judy. They're talking about like how impressive it is being like a first-time graduate. What's your family's history kind of look like?
Yeah, I'm actually when I graduated in May, I'll be the first one in my like entire family to actually get a college degree. So
let's go.
Yeah, like my immediate family, no, they all had to start working earlier than usual. But everybody else, it's like, yeah, no one else has gotten one. So I'll be the first.
Oh, that's incredible. You think about that much, or now you just clocking in, clocking out?
Sometimes I think it's more of like a reflection when I do, because like there's times where it's like I'll accomplish something, or I'll get like my good grades, or it's like stuff like that, and it's like, okay, like I expected that of myself. Then it's like hold on, like there's a lot of people, especially like that in my family, people that I know that like aren't doing it. And so it's like not a shade to them, just different people. But it's like I'll reflect and it's like, okay, like maybe I should be a little more proud of that than I am. But I think it'll hit me probably more come closer to graduation. But it's still an awesome feeling because I know they're proud, so it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do too. I know, shout out my brother Houston. He's second oldest in my family, and he was that first one to break through. And like you said, it's usually not people where they're just incapable. But my parents, small town, 3 hours. Like I think today's population like 1,300, but it's like that was just the gig they were gonna do their entire lives. Like college, not really even thinking about it. But it's a tough mold to break, and we'll definitely talk about that with Elijah Judy. I know if you guys heard Matt Rule talked about it a lot, and Braden talked about it a lot as well. But it is kind of nice to see, especially in the era of NIL, that like the student part still holds weight. I think we get lost in the NIL in terms of, well, you're getting all this NIL money. Who cares about the scholarship? Not a lot of guys go to the pro level. In fact, most don't. So if you just wind up with that NIL money, unless you plan on whatever that NIL money lasting your entire adulthood into retirement, which is a crazy dream to have, like you're going to need to figure something out. So no, that's awesome. Good luck to you on the final year then, so you can finally break that mold. And then for everybody else who's doing the same, and again, shout out to Elijah Judy and all the other Huskers that have been able to do that same thing, even if they do have families that went ahead and graduated. But nonetheless, was I think good for the idle chit chat here. Let's talk some NFL preseason. I'll let you go first here. Let's go NFL winners so far in the preseason, and we can combine all preseason weeks, not even just the last one. Who's really stuck out to you so far as winning the preseason thus far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more big on like certain players right now than teams, but I do think the Bears they looked great, especially on that first drive, taking them 97 yards.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, like this is, you can kind of see where the pieces are falling in from Ben Johnson's coaching there. Like they look like a much more calmer team, which is something they were missing immensely last year. So I think that's awesome. I think Jackson Dart was a winner coming out of this. I think, especially with just the way he played this. Because did he play the first time, or he might have gotten?
I think he got
reps.
a few limited reps, but no, Dart's been
but
nice.
He looked good second game out there. So I mean, I think he's up there. I like Travion Henderson a lot. I think he's going to be a good little weapon for them over there in New England.
It's just real quick because I was looking at Dart too. He's 26 for 35, just short of 300 yards in his 2 preseason games so far. 2 touchdowns. And has he had any picks? I don't know if he has.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so he's been clean, 2 touchdowns, 300 yards, really good completion rating. And if you're a Jackson Dart fan, or if you thought if you were nervous about it, that's exactly what you want to see. Because I mean, were you surprised when he kind of snuck? I shouldn't say snuck up there, but I mean, it was Shador was kind of, and then when Jackson Dart got called, it was kind of like everything was out the window. Nobody knew how it was going to go.
Yeah, I was surprised because I think even me, like I wasn't being a hater, but he was someone that I was like, I could see him slipping just because, like, I don't know. It was something about it. Like, he was a winner in college to an extent, but it was like, I never saw anything about him that was like top 10 pick. And I don't think anybody else did. But then I started hearing the rumors of like him getting moved up. And I was like, okay, like it wasn't far fetched, but it was something that like maybe a week before the draft, I didn't think was going to be coming. So, I mean, it was surprising, but it also wasn't like the end of the world. It was some predictability to it.
Yeah. Well, then Lane Kiffin too. I'm never sure. I'm a pretty big Lane Kiffin fan. I think he's phenomenal. We can talk about the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, it's kind of like O'Connell with the Vikings. It's like, give me a quarterback, I'll make an offense. Mm-hmm. I kind of get that vibe. So with Jackson Dart, I'm like, okay, he's got a cannon. Like this guy can throw it. But it's, going mill road. Mill road can throw it, but he didn't always have that touch on it. Mm-hmm. Jackson Dart, I was a little bit shaky on like what's his consistency, but yeah, absolute winner. 2 weeks in, and like I said, he's only missed. As I scrolled past it too far here, he's only just 9 passes missed so far out of 35. No interceptions, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty solid after 2 weeks there. Other winner, well, I'll be short on. We already talked about it, Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
In comparison to now that we got to see Dylan Gabriel in his debut, and he threw a pick. It was not great. Obviously, a little bit awkward when you were drafted before Shador Sanders. I've been down on the Browns the entire time for their just absolute joke of a draft. It's like if you really just pick Shador Sanders if you want to go that route, or pick Dylan Gabriel. Yeah. Having both of them on that same roster makes little to no sense. And now Joe Flacco is going to be named the starter heading into it. Anyways, has anything changed with you when you look at that Browns locker room? Like, it's just one of those most bizarre, well, I should say specifically the QB room. They named Joe Flacco the starter. Mm-hmm. Shador looked great. Yeah. With a grain of salt, knowing it's preseason. Yep. And Dylan Gabriel looked like crap, which is even worse when it is preseason. And you kind of like, you should be doing a little bit more, we're not running too much complex stuff here. Even the defenses, there may be some unique actions, but for the most part, it's vanilla. No one's showing you the real bread and butter yet.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think just that Browns quarterback room has been kind of cursed for years. Is what I mean. That's not a secret here. People will connect dots all the time, and it's like that. Taking two quarterbacks that you kind of expect to be the future of your franchise sounds good on paper. It sounds like a good little fantasy idea, but that's not doing anything good for your own franchise. Not doing anything good for your fans. It's going to divide your own fans amongst who they're going to root for. I think it's creating just much more of a mess, especially like that. You're taking those two young guys. You still got Kenny Pickett in there. It didn't really seem like they knew entirely what their game plan was going into that draft. And I think it's showing now for sure. But I'm still cool with Flacco being the starter. He's got the most experience. He's a winner. Let him see what happens. He gets into trouble. And then I think from there, it's who knows, actually. I want to see Shador out there. I think he's playing well, but again, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe Kenny Pickett should be up next more than I think, but I think Dylan Gabriel played himself down into that fourth spot at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get that leeway because he's young, but it's like you just don't feel great about it.
Yeah.
In the preseason, I don't know. I don't know what you do with the Browns. You want to like double down with Shador and see if you can back it up 2 times in a row. If you give Dylan Gabriel another shot through the entire thing, again, coming off like a little minor injury there, you can give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. So I'd like to see it, but they just put themselves in a bad situation because ideally you just have to figure out one guy out in your preseason, and now they got to figure out two. Another one loser in my mind, Daniel Jones. It just hasn't been looking great. I mean, that entire room, I really don't know. It's not looking great for that entire quarterback room. Thoughts on Daniel Jones, and does he have the ability to go ahead and lead the team for another year, or is he kind of lost goods?
I want to give him at least another fair shake. He's not someone that you ever have anything to really go off of, in my opinion. Like, it's never been something that, okay, like he proved that he should be out there. It's like Anthony Richardson got hurt. And I think he is back in rotation. I don't think he's out or anything, but that at least kind of gave him a little window of opportunity there. But I'm still just not big on Daniel Jones at all. I believe here he threw for 2,000 yards last year, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. It's just,
is it worth playing Anthony Richardson though? A guy who's also like never been great for you. I still think it is, at least with, but that's the problem I struggle with. Like, I think Daniel Jones, you might not be asking a lot, but he'll manage the game. And if Jonathan Taylor can run the ball and stay healthy, you might have an okay-ish season. You might be able to sneak in there. That's kind of your best bet. If you go with Richardson, it's more of a long shot, but at least there's that long shot to brighter future. If that makes any sense. With Daniel Jones, at this point, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. I kind of see him being in like a little similar role to like what Mark Sanchez was towards the end of his career, where it's like, okay, we're going to put you in there to like keep the game where it is, do what you have to do, hit your little 5-yard slants, but nothing more than that. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen over there at all in general. I mean, I think they have good pieces around them for sure. It's just a matter of if they can make it work. And that's the scary part with those quarterbacks. So we'll see.
I'm going to take the no on making it work. Good luck.
Yeah.
Hopefully Austin Orman isn't still here talking about his Colts like that, but I'm just not super fond of what they have going on in that quarterback room there whatsoever. Jordan P. text line says Gabriel looked tiny and nervous. I will say that he did sneak out. I was like, I forgot how small this guy is.
Yeah.
Like he's not, Kyler Murray by any means, but you're not like super impressed with his physical attributes. Yeah. And then of course, if you're hoping it's just a little bit of nervousness and coming back in there, but like, I wonder if it's seeping in his head too. He's got to compete with Shador, and nobody wants Dylan Gabriel to really succeed there. I hate to say it. Like, there's definitely Oregon fans. There's a bunch of people that want him, but there's a lot more Shador fans that as soon as Dylan Gabriel throws a bad pick, they're going to hear it.
They're ready for it. They hate watching right there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Flacco throws a pick. You're going to hear that in the Browns Stadium. I mean, people are going to be demanding for Shador Sanders to get put in the game.
Yep. I think we kind of saw that too. Like that, the preseason game that he ended up being the starting quarterback for, I think it was the most watched preseason game of like TV history. I think I'd have to look into that to be completely accurate. I think I saw Dion repost that, and so it's like he has so much just star power to his name that like as soon, like you're saying right there, as soon as Flacco just starts anything of a downhill trend, it's gonna get out of hand. And so I mean, like that, like they dug themselves into a way bigger situation than they had to do with that. So I don't know.
All right. I will. Let me ask you this before we move off the Browns, because I do wonder how far in do you think we see a quarterback switch with the Browns? Because Joe Flacco, yes, to me it's a matter of time. They're just probably waiting until those guys get comfortable. Will it be by the coach's decision, or like I said before, will it be a Flacco interception where the pressures will be pressure mounting, or will it be the coach's decision?
I, oof, I feel like it'll be a coach's decision. I think like that. He's kind of established himself as like pretty level headed that year that he came back and won the comeback player of the year. It was like, okay, like he's showing that he can at least be serviceable to an above average extent. And I think that's going to stay relatively in the same area. It's just we're going to see that age decline start kicking in a little more, I think. And so I think it'll be a coach's decision. Like you're not helping us much out there. Like let's just see what they can do type of deal. I think it does 100% determine how they start off the year, but they don't have an insanely easy start to the season, I don't believe. So
I'd have to double check on the schedule, but
Yeah, it's
even if
not-
it's a mediocre start,
Yeah,
knowing
you
how the
gotta-
Browns are, I think
Yeah.
you're the Vanderbilt that, well, outside of last year's Vanderbilt, like
Yeah.
you can talk down to anybody, but no one's really looking up to you.
Exactly.
So if anything, you're talking laterally at best.
Yeah.
You don't have a whole lot of room to talk down on people. They just, I think Flacco will do a good job. But I think it's just going to be an unfortunate thing where he's going to have a game where maybe even it's not his fault. Again, I just don't think that Browns team's very good. He's going to throw a pick and he's going to have a fumble and we're going to hear the Shador Sanders chants. And then knowing the Browns, worst case scenario, they'll shove Shador in there and Shador will throw a pick and then everyone's hair is on fire. The Browns, and then Dylan Gabriel's foaming at the mouth. Maybe he'll get his opportunity. Because really anybody out there feels like they got a shot with the Browns this year. Moving on, another really sorrowful team, Panthers. 3 points versus the Texans in that last game. I don't think they got it till the very end either. Oh, they got it in the second quarter. Either way, Panthers offense is still giving you not a lot of hope. It doesn't matter if it's starters. It doesn't matter if it's the second string, third string. All game, offense did not give you a lot of life whatsoever. Bryce Young, I don't think he was in a whole lot at all for that one. Thoughts on the Panthers? Like, I know you're not expecting them to be a great team, but is this thing already doomed to fail after seeing a little bit we've seen preseason?
I want to lean towards no. I'm trying to see. I think Bryce Young had two pass attempts in here, so I'm sure he didn't play much more than what that would show. So I mean,
he got those. I think he only had 2 pass attempts.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have spent that opening drive and 3 and out, huh?
Yeah, probably. So I mean,
so this is my problem with
the
Panthers. They're not going to play him anymore. They're not going to play a lot of their starters anymore. I'm sorry, your offense looks like crap. You probably need to make sure to get some preseason with those guys. I don't understand it when you are a team like the Panthers who just aren't beating anyone and never have for the longest time since Cam Newton. And then you think you're good enough to play your starters, even though they've shown nothing but bad drives. And maybe it's coaching, maybe it's the players, maybe it's the scheme. But either way, I'm going to let my guys get some more reps because right now they just don't look good at all. And it doesn't matter. I keep them in there versus the second stringers. See if they can do something there. And if they still can't, you got some major,
then
major
it's
issues.
a real reflection thing. But I completely agree. Like, I don't think the Browns did it to that extent either, but the Bears did it to that extent. But it was good seeing them, like, because you kind of saw, like, okay, like this is what they're cooking together as a starting lineup right here. So it's like, I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just like that they're pulling these guys a little too early. Like, let's give Bryce Young a little bit more time, give him a whole couple drives, give him half the quarter, give him the whole quarter. Like, even he himself isn't in a position where it's like, okay, like he's gonna go. We know what we're gonna get out of him. You still don't. He still had a horrible start to the season last year. Finished off better, but like that, there's too many question marks on that offense too. Like the receiving core is just not.
It's not good.
Not something you look at and it's like, yeah, they're gonna help out Bryce Young. They're not. Like, I don't know.
I'd hate to coach him or be the general manager for him. I will say this: like, when it comes to Bryce Young, the only way his career gets saved, and I think I've talked about with you before, is he gets that Baker Mayfield miracle chance. Like, he's just got to figure out a way to get out of there. What they show over and over again is not good enough. Then the decisions they're making in preseason doesn't give me a lot of hope that if you're not figuring it out in the preseason, the odds of you figuring out in the regular season are slim to none. Seems like another really tough year coming along their way. And the other part, going again with the first and second stringers, like even the Bills, even though that one looked terrible, they're not playing Josh Allen because they have the right not to.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the Bills are in a different camp than your Carolina Panthers. Josh Allen has no reason to play. And then at least with the Bills, it was starters, and then it was second string versus second, third versus third. And maybe a few players here that are mixing in and out, but at least they kind of kept to a system. And if you're the Bills, not a great look to go 28-0 like that. But at the same time, you're not the Panthers. Like, if the Panthers keep getting blown out in preseason, what's the hope there? With the Bills, at least they can look at their starters.
Yeah.
And like wait for those guys to come back. With the Panthers, your starters went out there, they looked terrible, and you pulled them out. And you're not going to see them again until the start of the regular season. I mean, the odds of that really working out in a big way are not great. Another one, not really a loser, just kind of awkward. Ashton Genty kind of talked about how he's arrived already.
Yeah.
That was just weird. I was like, I'm preseason, sure, you kind of been okay. Where are you at with Ashton Genty and his ability to be a guy for the Raiders year one? And like, can he actually be, I'm not going to say a Saquon Barkley, a mid good average starting running back, or do you think he has a higher ceiling than that in year one?
I think just for year one, probably not. I think he's going to have to be doing a lot more than just here's the ball, take off with it. Like that line just isn't great in general. So, and for him, the type of strong running back he is, I could see him being in a little bit more of some pass blocking. Wow. Some pass blocking situations on there. And I think that's going to limit some of his production. The touches he's going to get with the yards he's probably going to average has nothing to do with him. And that's kind of the bad part that they're going to be in. But I think like his value is going to be determined by what's going on around him, I believe, because I think a lot of his production this year, from what I expect, is going to be some red zone touchdowns, just goal line drives, just because, I mean, they're not going to have anyone to get that ball down the field. So, I mean, I can't really see him just giving it to him every single down as they're trying to get down the field. And so that's just the scary part.
I think that offensive line is still pretty weak too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the problem with Josh Jacobs. It's like,
exactly.
Josh Jacobs was an incredible running back, and then all of a sudden the next year he wasn't that great, and that was, I mean, the whole team had no offensive identity, so they're really just forcing him the ball, and like the box was loaded, plus their offensive line was weaker, and then we all know how that went. And then Josh Jacobs goes to the Green Bay Packers. All of a sudden he's a phenomenal running back again, and you look at that trade, and you're like, how'd the Packers pull off this blindside trade?
Yeah.
Well, they actually had an offensive line that could block for the guy, and they weren't a one-dimensional team at that point. Like, whatever you think of Jordan Love, he's putting a lot more threat than was Jimmy G, the Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and that version of Jimmy G, not the 49ers Jimmy G that brought him to the Super Bowl, which even then you're probably looking at the 49ers offense and the magic they pull off every year than you are more so Jimmy Garoppolo. Just a tough one, though. I think that's all I got. Any other quarterbacks that come to mind? Who's I was forgetting? Justin Fields. This one bums me out. I was really hoping for the Jets to figure out their quarterback situation. Justin Fields is still missing passes pretty bad. I noticed. Like, we're talking screen passes. The accuracy stuff that I thought was just Chicago not doing him any favors seems to be following him with New York, and it's noticeable. And then, unfortunately, Adrian Martinez didn't play great in his last preseason game. He was about like 50%, maybe just over, and then he threw one pick and 0 touchdowns. So it was a bummer to see the double entendre there with two guys I was rooting for. But Justin Fields caught me off guard a lot more. To see the accuracy issues still plague him as much as they do, I really thought, me being like biased as knowing how bad my Bears are with quarterbacks, I thought that was more of our problem. He is still just, he's great at scrambling in the pocket, but he'll have some throws where he's on the move. And unless he's going to his strong side, if it's opposite side, it's a wobbler. It's almost got no chance. And sometimes even in the pocket, if that snap is just a hair off, it's like that screen pass or that short little dump is off every time. Like, it's almost got to be perfect for him to throw a good throw. And he's got all the talent in the world, but it's just like something happens with him more often than not, where his body isn't right, his legs aren't right, he's not planting, or he loses a little bit. And that last game, I counted about 7 passes that were easy completions that either wobbled or just like too far off target, where there was an easy swat for the defender, or, the pass was laid on the screen and it's about a 5-yard tackle for a loss. I mean, seeing that, it really surprised me. Thoughts on just Justin Fields, and it's kind of the end of the road for him.
Yeah, I think I'm also one that was kind of big on him. I like the situation he was kind of getting into in terms of like he gets to like be a dual threat if he could play it right. And seeing a lot of those throws on the run, especially, it's like that kind of is what makes you a threat as a dual threat quarterback. And if he can't do that, it's going to be a lot less of a weapon. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here now. I hope he does turn it around. He's someone that I've always rooted for. It's like he was put into a bad situation, we thought, in Chicago, which I think he still was. And
it was bad.
Yeah, like he didn't have much help there. And he's kind of getting a little bit more help here. You got a better running back, I believe. And it's like there's these little things that can help him. And it's literally just him holding himself back. If he can get over that hump, I think he'd be fine. But that's kind of been the question mark for him, if he can get over that as well.
And I don't know if the Jets are going to be the right team to help him with that either.
Yeah.
They like to move on pretty quickly.
Yes.
And on the bright side, I don't think the room's super loaded. On the downside, it would have looked better if Adrian Martinez had a better run. But honestly, if it gets desperate enough and Adrian Martinez starts playing even better and he looks great in practice, he might get a shot, just knowing how down bad the Jets are. and how bad it's been going for him. He's got to figure out that just the basic completion rating. Like, he's got to get that accuracy up, because, like, to your point, who cares if you can scramble all day if you just can't deliver the pass at the end? And if all you can use is your legs, well, I mean, that's a lot easier to prepare for. I mean, they'll just start putting a spy on you and just daring you to throw it and throw that on the move throw. And again, a lot of times it's like he's got the power, it's just like a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Once you start going up against starters more often, I mean, those just turn into interceptions. There's quite a few where it's behind, and the defender did good just jumping it with one hand, but pretty soon, I mean, you're going to be playing against, like Gardner. He's going to jump on that, and that's a pick. And you're not getting that thing back there. So, rooting for Justin Fields. Surprised by the accuracy issues still plaguing him as much as he am. Final winner I got, and you can throw one more winner or loser if you got one as well before we go to break here. This goes for fantasy as well. Keep your eyes on Henderson and the Patriots. Trayvon Henderson is going to get the rock a lot, I think. I think he broke off like a 90-plus yard run last week. This week, had another good day. I know he rushed one in. He's just going to get a lot of touches and a lot of production. And so far, he's shown the ability to power through at the goal line and also run off on some crazy explosive plays. So hopefully none of my friends are listening. We haven't drafted yet, but he's on my, keep on the back list. He's going to be a good pickup late, I think, for anybody. And who knows where he ends up total yards at the end of the year. But if he stays healthy, like, he's showing a little bit of everything. Explosive, at the same time, he's got the power to run through people in short goal line situations.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm huge on him, so I'm trying to make a trade for him. So if
so
anyone's
you do
listening
want him.
for my league, please let me get that. I think my biggest loser still since draft day has been the Saints. I think I get they're kind of holding off for a better draft class with Arch Manning, but they just keep shooting themselves in the foot there. They're not even trying, it seems. So, I mean, hopefully that Arch Manning tank works if that's what they're going for, but I think this draft just ruined them even more. So
what do you think they sell on Tyler Shough?
I have no idea. That's like, there's times where I try to be optimistic about somebody, even if I dislike the way that their stats are or anything. I no idea what you saw in that guy, especially, again, no bias. When you have Shador still available, it was just, I didn't get it.
I would have taken Dillon. I would have taken Shador.
Yeah.
I would have taken, there's quite a few others. I mean, he wasn't even on my mind.
Will Howard or somebody.
Yeah, even Will Howard. Like, he just wasn't on my mind at all as far as guys I'm going to go ahead and look at. And, he was one of the older quarterbacks in the draft. And he, unfortunately, if you're looking for the flashes, he seemed to also have one of the lowest ceilings.
Yes.
And then in terms of polish, it was debatable. Like, if he's the most polished guy coming in or not, because he's the competition he's playing against, how he it's not like he was super consistent. Like, he doesn't have the crazy talent, but this guy's finishing the year 70% completion rating is just wasn't all like promising.
Yeah,
maybe somewhat polished, but he's older and he doesn't have the flash of like the cannon that Jackson Dart had.
Exactly.
That I think jumped him up there because
you could find something in there. But.
That crazy stuff, or Shador's pocket presence. That offensive line was terrible for Colorado. You watch the Nebraska game, you'll think this guy stinks. You watch other games, you'll be like, I don't know how he's making it work, but he's figuring out ways to keep his team alive in some of these games. I know he's got Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner, but at the same time, he showed those flashes where with Shough, he just never saw any of that.
Yeah.
Unless I missed all those moments, but I'm pretty sure most people would agree with me as to why most people were shocked when he got drafted. What was he overall?
He was the 40th overall pick in the second round. Yeah, that's
a crazy one.
That is insane. If he was a fourth or fifth, okay, maybe, but that's wild.
Even if he does have the slight edge over Shador at this point, I'm like, you know what? It is a business.
Yeah.
I'm going to make some money.
Exactly.
And those Saints jerseys with Shador Sanders, you can't tell me those guys wouldn't have made a killing. Black and gold, still sticking with the colors he had at Colorado. Like that.
That would have been awesome.
I am just baffled that the Saints didn't pull that one. Again, I'm not like a big Shador Sanders hoorah guy. I think he's got a lot to prove yet. And obviously, him being from Colorado, I had my fun time rooting against him. But you can't deny some of the things he can do. And, the fandom he has is a valuable asset. It's the same reason why LeBron James gets stupid, crazy contracts. It's not just what he does on the court. It's everything on top of it. He's going to move ticket prices up $50 just for being there. And that's each ticket. So same thing for Shador Sanders. Not to the extent of LeBron James, but you get the point. All right, we're over the clock here. We're going to keep talking some football. We'll slip into some college football. So don't go anywhere. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. I got Rudy joining me to my left, Harrison Arens on the boards at Ticket Weeknights as usual. Talk to you guys in just a little bit.
If the power is out, traffic lights might be too. If you come across a dark intersection, Treat it like a four-way stop. See more tips at les.com/safety.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2025 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 23rd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers and storms likely this morning, then mainly sunny skies this afternoon. It'll be hot with a high near 94. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, below around 71. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly sunny with a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways. Tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the board. We got Rudy to my left. And again, your Royals update as we're still working to get that signal back for you guys. But in the meantime, we can give you the updates. 1-1 in bottom of the third inning. Your Royals 2 games above 500 and the Rangers 1 game below 500. And like I said, heading into the bottom of the third right now with a tie game 1-1 between the Royals and the Rangers. With that being said, let's keep it moving here. And just a couple things in NFL still that I want to get to. This one I actually didn't see. It came out from Adam Schefter. Cleveland Browns plan on carrying. The current thought is, the rumors are, according to Schefter himself, carry 4 quarterbacks on that 53-man roster wherever they go. It is a little bit crazy. Sound about right with what they have in the QB room.
Yeah, I think with their specific situation, I think that's probably the best bet. It does sound insane at first, but
just pick a guy in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. I just think they have 3 kind of unproven guys. I don't care how long Pickett's been in the league. It's been, 3-4 years now?
Maybe don't draft Dylan. I mean, I get you're totally right.
No, yeah.
But the way you guys drafted,
you put yourself in that situation. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think it's the right situation to be in, but with what they kind of set themselves up for, it makes perfect sense. It's just kind of sad how they have to resort to that.
Sad for Kenny Pickett too. Like, can you imagine being Kenny Pickett in that draft, which is something that no one talks about? Like, you see them draft Dylan first, and you're like, okay, that's my competition. And they draft Shador, and you're like, okay, what the hell? What are we doing
exactly
here? I kind of see where my fate is, knowing that you still got Watson, who's working to get back from the injury, and then Dan from Canopy, quick update. He says 3-1. Maybe the Royals just got another score here. I'll let you guys decide for that. I still won't have the update, but nonetheless, that's all I got on the NFL. That one. Well, one more thing. Jaden Daniels also opening drive had a successful start, ran it in for a 14-yard touchdown off of a scramble. It was not a design quarterback play. Bears' new rival scares the living daylights out of me. We got to play him at Washington again, which I don't know how that happened on the schedule. Jaden Daniels, his ceiling on what he can be, especially year 2, because now Dan Quinn, I mean, the reports out there. We talk about the sophomore slump. To me, it's not so much these guys lost their touch. It's just defensive coordinators caught on to what you're good at, not so good at. Will we see the same thing with Daniels? Or do you think he powers through and has another incredible season? I mean, at one point in time, it was early on best offense in the NFL was that Commanders team. They weren't punting the ball. They were that effective.
Yeah, I think I could see him starting off slow, like with that sophomore kind of like slump study thing of now we kind of picked up on your tendencies. But I think we kind of saw like he wasn't elite last year for no reason. So I could easily see him kind of adjusting to that. He has the skills to fully adjust no matter what. And so I'm huge on that. I think I'm going to be completely realistic. I can see him starting off with like a 4-game slate of nothing bad, but nothing with where he finished off or what he was averaging last season. But I could see him taking a couple steps back and then figuring it out. I can see him being fine again. I think his ceiling is a very, very high one.
MVP candidate.
Exactly. I think he could be a Lamar light. I don't think he could do exactly what Lamar Jackson does, just because that dude's been doing it for years right now. But I think they have similar play styles when he's playing at his best. And so I could see him going that route. It's just he's going to see different defenses attack him differently this year. So it's all just how he makes those adjustments, really.
He's going to be, right now, his ceiling is even scarier than I think what Lamar is. Lamar's run game is just unreal. Yeah. But it took Lamar to get that passing game down. And once he put that together, I mean, people were saying it. He can't throw X amount of yards. I think he had one game where he threw like 400.
Yeah.
And he's like 400 and like 3+ touchdowns. And he's like, I can do that as well. And that conversation finally died.
Yep.
But the thing that terrifies me about Daniels, it might not be the same as Lamar, but he's still got that shiftiness. I mean, I watched just about every Commanders game. There was at least 4 ankles left on the ground. Like he's shifty. I mean, he's got that whatever that ability, that id factor is, where they just makes guys that incredibly tough to tackle, where they're so good at shifting the weight of their body. He has that. And if anybody who saw that little snippet of him running it in, he shows that again. Just little sudden movements. He finds the way to break through and get that 14-yard touchdown run. He's got the accuracy already, too. The thing that took Lamar a while to get to, or at least feel comfortable in the NFL, like kind of year one, you saw that with him. So if there is that quote unquote slump, I think you're right. I think it's not going to be, it'll be temporary.
Yeah.
Like you'll be like, okay, so that's what you guys are doing to me. I can counter that too, because I really do think he's that type of talent where he can just hurt you in so many ways. And with that offense, with that entire coaching staff, really, Commanders might be running that division sooner than they think. I'm worried about the Commanders, and I'm worried about my Bears playing them again at home. I think that is going to be a tough team for anybody to beat. Their offense can be good enough to put you in a shootout. Their defense, if that ever picks up to a high level, then we're talking about like Super Bowl contender team. Because I just think that offense can be electric already as is. That defense, if it picks up on that side of the ball, then we're in a lot of trouble for everybody who's got to play the Commanders. But with that being said, that's the last thing I got on NFL, and it is officially 3-1. Kansas City Royals over the Rangers. Rudy, any more NFL stuff you want to get to before we get to Husker football? And I'll talk about this from 8 to 9 o'clock as well.
The only thing is I'm watching that clip back right now of Jaden Daniels' touchdown. Yeah, like
he's shifty.
It is, and it's also just I like the way he's like he gives that play some time to develop, and then it's okay. Now we got to go. Not one of those guys is open. Now let me see. It's like he's still waiting in that pocket a decent amount. He's just that shifty to get out of there. That's insane.
Oh, and that's where, Justin Fields struggled. That's where Caleb Williams struggled.
Yeah.
That's even where Bryce Young struggled for a little. Even Jalen Hurts. Like some of these guys, like that's their whole MO is like, I'm just a freak athlete. I'll figure out a way to get out of it. And then they do. But it's like, okay, did you run around for 10 seconds just to throw it out of bounds?
Yeah.
Maybe next time, instead of scrambling around everywhere, it's just time to go. And if that means 2 yards on a slide or 10 yards on a first down, we'll take that either way. Yeah, same thing for, Dylan Raiola. And he's even acknowledged this. I think he made a joke about it. He said, Husker fans will love this. Been working on running.
Yeah.
But, it's like, Dylan, I don't care if I shouldn't call him Dylan. Dylan Raiola, I don't know him on a personal level. With Raiola, it's like, no one's expecting you to finish the game with 100 yards. People just want 2 yards and not say it's 2nd and 10. Can you slide for 5 and make it 3rd and 5? Or, just scramble and throw it out of bounds. Well, now we're still looking at 3rd and 10, or even worse, which you ran into a few times, scramble to the point to where you get caught in the backfield, and now we're looking at a 3rd and long.
Yeah.
And that's the deal breaker. And it's just really simple thing that if you can figure out how to do, it'll save you a ton of effort, like the way Mahomes does. And if it's one of your abilities, like Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, you put the entire defense. I mean, they're shaking in their boots when they see you in the green space like that, because there's not a lot of athletes, and they know in the back of their heads that can keep up with those guys. I'm not going to be surprised if we see it all over again this upcoming season. He's just going to be a tough guy to stop. And I think with that coaching staff, that roster's put together pretty well, he's not going to have a whole lot of excuses not to, but I really don't think he's going to need those excuses. Let's hear a little bit about Husker football, Ben, since we got a few minutes left here. And we'll play this since we talked about it already, and we only got one more segment. We talked about Elijah Judy being the first one to get that diploma within his family. Matt Rules talked about it. Brad talks about it as well. And for a lot of people, Braden, of course, coming from the Kansas City Chiefs, this is kind of a good audio quote. Kind of gets you a personality about who he is and what he values.
Well, Coda and my son Carter are almost the same age. So we had them over the house and they became friends. But getting a degree, like that's why I love about college. Like my brother was murdered at 17 years old before I was born, 30 feet from my house. So I always told my mom I want to get a degree. That paper nobody can take from you. I don't care. Football is going to last a couple years. But that degree is so special. And I talk about it in my room, right? Being a student athlete, student first. Get your degree. Get that degree, and then you can chase football as much as you can. But getting that degree was so special. And seeing a Judy, I actually got the picture printed, hung it in my office because that's what it's about. And I think a lot of times guys forget that's what it's about. Yes, we want to win. Production-based business, I understand that. But getting a degree and showing other people where he's from, man, that's just a special moment. And I'm so proud of him.
So there you have it. That right there gave me just everything I was hoping to hear from a coach like that. You can say coach speak sometimes. I think sometimes it's easy to hear genuine in people's own words.
Yeah.
That's just, again, I talked about it at the very beginning, in an era of NIL where people just some kids are unfortunately obsessed with the money and they do lose sight of that. It's good to hear from coaches who are there, really banging on the desk, telling people like, this is what it's about. Like if you get that knee injury, your football's over. And if you walk out with no diploma, what the hell do you have to remember your time here in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Nothing, just memories. But that piece of paper, like that's going to stay with you forever. No one can take that away from you. Boston just brat him. And, I think right there, you kind of hear about the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, like, if I'm someone who is a Husker football player right now, it's like, okay, like, these coaches, the staff, the players around me, they all have, like, my best intention. And I think that's something you don't really see a lot in college football because I think a lot of the coaches, just as much as the players, get caught up in the money, the winning. And so it's like, if I'm someone whose son is getting recruited and I hear a Husker football coach talk like that, that's where I'd want to send my son. And I think that's kind of getting reflected now. You hear the way these players talk in their meetings. You see the things they're doing. It's like that 100% could be just who they are. But the system they're building around for these players here in Lincoln is I don't think there's many like that in the country. As much as I want to boast about my Longhorns, I don't know if that's a huge factor for them when they're looking at their team. And it's cool to see it because it's not like Nebraska's a nobody program right now. They're trending up, as you can see from everything on Twitter and everything. But it's cool to see that they do value the student part of the student athletes still. I think that's something that's getting rare for both sides of it, coaching and players.
Yeah, that's, I think a good way to put it. It's kind of getting rare for, it's not just players, but again, when you have coaches that are just kind of letting you get by and they're like, hey, your classes are down, go talk to this advisor, they'll get you straightened up. And then they just kind of leave things be instead of demanding, why was it low to begin with? I don't know, how much of an effect, but I know, even Coach Matt Rule, he's talked about disciplinary things, and I'm sure disciplinary things, why some of the guys have had to not be at practice, have to stop, or, sometimes just not make a workout in Nebraska. Like academics, I'm sure is a big part of that. And it's just good to hear from a coach like Brad, because me as myself, I know I wasn't, but if I was like a 4 or 5 star athlete and I got to go to the University of Nebraska or my pick of the litter in terms of colleges, and they're giving me all this money, like I might even forget it's about the scholarship. So it's good to have like an adult in the room. And to your point, like if you're the mom and dad, that's a really great selling point, that they're like, they want to make sure that that kid gets the degree and not just be successful at the sport. Because when you get to that and you hear only about their success as an athlete and a football player, you do start to get a little bit of a chill down your back. Like, well, is this all, does he just want to win? And that's why he wants me on here. Doesn't really care about me after the fact. Not to say that I'm going to name coaches like that I think that have that personality, but I will say that I think Terry Braden was absolutely genuine with what he's saying. And it's kind of refreshing to hear that in the era that is today's modern college football. With that being said, we got to throw it to a final break here. We got some more, well, not more, plenty of audio clips we can play from here on out. Like I said, we'll play it for the next 5 minutes on the other side, as well as I'll play it from 8 to 9 o'clock as well. Don't go anywhere. Take a Weeknights. Harrison, Rudy, talk to you in a bit.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovbneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Tune in every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. for the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Sit back and enjoy listening to Dr. Chatters discuss real stories involving struggle, inspiration, and real-life experiences with special guests and insights. Remember, the higher the pressure, the greater the lift. It's the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways. Tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, at least for this hour. 402-464-5685. Started him with text line. Got Rudy in here joining me for another about 5 minutes or so, and we're going to keep it on Husker football, and we'll keep doing that for the next hour as well. Still 3-1, top of the fourth inning, Rangers versus the Royals. Keep you updated on that as well. But we still got plenty more. We talked about Terry Braden, again, the new defensive line coach after really that whole line, that whole spot team had changed. You lose Tony White. I'm blanking. Who was the defensive line coach before him? Pot Roast. That's not his name. I forget, but Pot Roast went with him. Nonetheless, we get Terry Braden from the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's taken over. And so far, I was always pretty excited about it. I just think getting that winning culture is a big deal. And on top of that, what he's all said at the podium so far has been impressive. Take that with a grain of salt. I don't know what that exactly means, but it gives you hope that maybe what we hear at the podium will actually reflect to what we see on the field as well. And here's some fun news. Rudy, are you going to that game, Kansas City?
Probably not. I'll probably be working here for that, like helping out at the station. So I'll probably be here.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. We probably will need you. Sometimes I forget that we have a job to do on those days. We all have some people there. And for those people that do get to go there, I think they'll be lucky. Here's Terry Bratton talking about some of the former players he coached at Kansas City. Maybe be attending the game there.
Yes. Yeah, the guys in my room, I know, that was in George Kalafis, Chris Jones. Those guys said they said they'll be there. You never know. They basically finishing out camp as well, but they said they'll be there, and I'm happy they'll be there to support me for my first one.
I know it's sweet and short, but let's put out there. How many faces are we expecting to see at this game? Like, is this going to be a Kansas City celebrity row? Like, I know people don't want to hear it, but are we going to see like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes? I think Mahomes will be there.
Yeah.
I think he maybe even talked about it. I'm not sure about Kelce. I really doubt Swift would be there.
Yeah.
I think that was just more tongue in cheek to say that one. I don't think she cares about college football game. But then you're also getting Terry Bratton's guys. And Chris Jones being one of the best ones to do it. Like, if people see him there's going to be a lot of Husker fans asking for autographs if he's got the time for it. It's going to be a bit of celebrity row at this game. So shout out to anybody who's lucky enough, or maybe not lucky enough, worked hard enough to have the money and time to take vacation, go and watch that game in Kansas City. But what are you expecting out of the crowd in terms of like a celebrity row, and then just how much red compared to black?
I think it's going to be pretty red more than anything. I think especially because you have a lot of the intersecting lines. A lot of Husker fans here are Chiefs fans, so it's the best of both worlds for them, honestly.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs, I think it was the owner who talked about that too, and how that made it a big help, a lot easier to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was at Indianapolis Colts, and then when they wanted to move it out of Indianapolis, Troy Dannon came in there, because I think Trev originally tried when they first put out there, and then Troy Dannon kind of finally got it through. But a big part of that was like, we got a lot of crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of our Nebraska fans, they're big Chiefs fans too, and I think that helped sweeten the deal. I feel bad for Cincinnati. It just kept moving west toward us, but nonetheless, we'll take it. I mean, maybe like a 90-10. Realistically,
easily.
at this point.
It's going to be just like any other Memorial game, I believe, honestly. Just probably a lot louder, a lot different environment for sure, but I think it's going to be so exciting to watch. I'll definitely be cheering for Nebraska, I would confidently say. So
I always forget you're not like a diehard Nebraska fan, and you as a Texas fan, I'll take it nonetheless. But I will say, have you been to Arrowhead at all?
I have not.
How many NFL stadiums are you still on a bucket list to go to one?
I still got many to go, but I think I've only been to one, and it's just AT&T Stadium. Cowboys, when the Packers came to town, I had to go cheer for my Packers. So I was there for a playoff game, but that's pretty much it.
It's just a playoff game. I made the one, and it was Arrowhead. And I will say Arrowhead is one of it is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it looks like one of those you kind of just have to go to experience it.
And it's like really easy to get to, at least in my mind, where when we were going, they were playing the Broncos. It wasn't like one of the biggest games of the year, so it wasn't as crazy. But like super nice, clean, open like stadium. For anybody who gets to go to that one, like you could I'm sure Arrowhead and all the NFL stadiums is probably like a top 10.
Wow.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Where would you put AT&T?
Oof. I think with the money and the I don't know. I'd have to probably put them for sure top 5.
I'd say like maybe top 5.
Yeah, I think so. I think just with how like high tech that thing is, those huge jumbotrons, it opens. I think the money they put into that stadium, I got a top 5.
I never know how to work this. Because like if we're going through just like great state, this one kills me. But the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, see, that's my one.
Yeah, that's my one, and I'm not. Then that's probably not even biased for being your one. Like it really is.
Yeah,
awesome. The way it's set up is perfect.
I wouldn't put the Vikings up there. Like even in the same kind of how much money AT&T Stadium. I wouldn't put the Vikings Allegiant Stadium up there. I probably wouldn't put SoFi up there either.
See, SoFi doesn't have the history.
Yeah, I like where
really
the Seahawks
cool.
play. I think I'd put the Seahawks up there. Arrowhead.
Soldier Field, the bottom tier one.
Yeah, probably. Sadly, I did see that they rolled out like a national ad for what their new stadium layout's going to be. So
it looks sick if they can do it. The problem I have with the Bears is like you keep saying this every year.
Yeah,
like here's the blueprints. Here's the blueprints. Here's the blueprints. And it does sound like it's moving closer. And then you had the Bears, double down on it, like their owner, or not owner, I should say. I can't remember who's taking over right now. Obviously, the owner passed away, but they doubled down on it being a part of it. But then you still have the actual mayor in the city of Chicago being like, well, no, it belongs downtown. So I still don't know how that's going to go down. It feels like there's always another avenue where they try to shoot it down, but they definitely need an upgrade. You can't just build a bunch of new stuff on top of the old crap.
Yeah.
And if you look at their stadium from the outside, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's like the old foundation, and on top of it, just a weird glass dome.
Yeah.
So it's if on the inside you can't tell how ugly it looks from the outside, but the outside it It needs a lot of work.
Yeah, I drove by it for the first time ever a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, like that just looks like a clump.
It is.
And it's not appealing at all.
No, they really messed up trying to put like new on. I get it. You want to preserve the old, but you got to have some finesse when doing it, and they lacked all of that completely. Not thought where it's gonna go. Give me the worst stadium then that you can think of.
Oof.
It's pretty bad.
I don't think the stadium itself is bad. I'm sure it's probably more of just what's been just the play in that stadium. I'm not a fan of where the Dolphins play. I just don't like the layout. I don't like the square kind of roofing with it. I'm just sorry, Jake Sorensen. I just don't think it's a top stadium at all. I think it's definitely lower tier. I'd put the Browns down there. I'm not big on theirs either. So
Browns is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Jaguars. I want to see what it brings because I can't obviously. Oh, this list has got him at 29. Wasn't too far off. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's a little bit older. Yeah, opened up in 1995, which makes sense. It's not like a super old franchise or anything. But nonetheless, let's do that another day. Rank NFL stadiums. That was a good segment right there. But don't go anywhere. We'll switch it up. More Husker football. We got a lot of quotes from Simpson, from Braden, from Butler, all on the defensive side of the ball for the Corn Huskers. We'll talk about that next. Appreciate you guys listening, but don't go anywhere. Take a Weeknights with Harrison, Arens, and Rudy.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.